Welcome back to Alpha Mods, everybody. So today we basically have the aftermath of a trip to madness. I ended up buying a couple of things, and I'm kind of focusing on maintenance right now. So there's going to be a lot of videos associated with maintenance. I have a few things that I still have upgraded, and so we're going to add, for example, a new steering wheel, and that'll be coming in pretty soon. I already have it. I just haven't gotten around to installing it. I just want to say, if you guys haven't seen my channel before, since this is kind of a broader spectrum video, Alpha Mods focuses on doing a lot of modifications that most Alpha owners won't be doing, especially to their 2.0. But we basically do everything from programming to installing parts and things like this. So today's video, we want to focus on something very simple and something that most owners probably will do, because let's face it, you're going to end up having to replace this filter at some point in time. Now the question is whether or not you want to replace it with something that's going to give you a tiny bit more performance. Again, this is very small amounts, maybe a few horsepower, because like by design the factory system is honestly one of the best systems that I've seen, so it's already pretty ideal. Let's just say this. I've run different intake systems. I've run the V1 from Eurocompulsion. I've run the V2 from Eurocompulsion. I've run the AFE, which is the closed box intake that goes into this little spot right here. And as you guys can see, I'm back to stock. And there's a reason for that. I feel like this is one of the best intakes that you can have. Now, don't get me wrong, if you want a cool little sound, then definitely go with something like a V2, or maybe Ideal's new carbon fiber intake that they have. Madness also sells one that's an open box. But for me, I like the idea of getting my air from the front of the car and letting it come in through this system and into this enclosed box. So it kind of leaves people with a few options. I want to say for me, I've also had the Sprint filter. So if you guys are familiar, Sprint is one of the other filters that promises good filtration and good horsepower gains. And I liked it. I didn't think it was bad at all. I gave it away in a giveaway to my viewers. And I thought that was pretty cool because I switched to the AFE intake. But now that that's gone, I had to replace it again. So this is going to be a short and sweet do-it-yourself video on pulling off the stock Airbox and replacing it with the BMC filter. And I think the sound's going to be roughly the same as the Sprint, and I think the power gain's also going to be roughly the same as the Sprint. Right now I'm currently tuned with Squadra. I do have the diverter valve, I do have the Go Fast bits. Diverter valve, two separate things. One of them's the mod that makes it sound like a blowout valve. The other one's the actual diverter valve has been replaced. And I'm also running a 3-inch exhaust from Centerline, which honestly is probably one of the best sounding exhausts that I've had. As you guys can see, I've got the 2024 headlights on the 2018. So if you guys want to see that, that's in a completely separate video. And honestly, you guys can use whatever tool you want. I prefer this. And so one thing I want to note about this, you see how the screw comes up? You don't have to pull it all the way out. You can just get it to that point all the way around and you'll be able to wiggle this off. So instead of doing a fast forward scene, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that and get right back with you guys. Okay, so you guys can loosen this right here. Makes it a lot easier using a 7mm as well. And you're basically just prying it out of these tabs on the side here. It's not too complicated. Once you do that, well, see, this filter's already falling apart on me. Once you do that, you can pull out the original filter, this thing's pretty much done, but it's doing a really good job because it's OEM, so gotta have appreciation for that. And this is probably the most insane thing that I've ever seen. Somehow my intake somehow sucked this up, and I don't smoke, so that is super weird. Anyway, I'm really glad I caught that on camera actually. Let's go ahead and pop open the other one, but as you can tell, this did its job in preventing something worse from happening. Okay, so this is an oiled filter, and as it says on the wrapping, pre-oiled. I'm not going to get too much into detail about that. Basically, it just means that we can continue to reuse this over and over again, like well past what this one could be used at. So to put it in, we're simply sliding it in exactly where our other filter used to be. Okay, so what needs to take place here is you want to remove this clamp from this box, and that'll give you enough room to basically just put it in correctly, because Jesus, I was having a little bit of trouble with that one, but as soon as I did that, now we're back in place. So now that that's back in place, we're just doing the reverse, and we're going to tighten down all the screws, and we should be good. Don't forget to tighten your clamp. Alright, so we've now successfully taken out our old filter and installed our new one. I gotta say, you will have to manhandle this a little bit, but start by removing this, and then taking this box and going up with it. It'll pop it out of these two clips here, and then in the reverse order, you put the box in first, down, then this tube will go over. I think I did a decent job of showing that, but we'll drive around for a little bit. We'll see how the in-cabin sounds, and I'll get back with you guys. Okay, so, oh wow, that's cool. So we're basically in the cabin right now. I can hear a lot more burbles. My GoPro doesn't do too great of a job of capturing sounds in cabin, so we're gonna try this out. Damn, that sounds good. Okay, so I'm actually surprisingly kind of like astonished at how this sounds. Maybe it's because I'm tuned, but I went from kind of like mild to more of a deep throaty sound, but to the point where it was actually noticeable. Wow. Okay. I'll go ahead and close that up. I'm just trying to drive around low speeds in my neighborhood. That sounds great. I mean, I gotta say, this is an improvement. So for anybody looking to do this, a drop-in filter is definitely the way to go here. I'm not gonna sit here and say BMC is better than K&N or better than Sprint. I mean, from what I can tell, it just sounds all around healthier and better. It has a way deeper sound to it. And for like, I believe this was 75 bucks, something like that. I think you can get these on Amazon for 70, 75. You're not gonna beat it. Like, this is a legit performance adder, just from like a sound perspective. Wow. So anyways, that about wraps it up, guys. We'll drive on this for a while, see how everything plays out, give people any updates on it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a good replacement filter if you already have to replace your air filter. And I'm running up on 60,000 miles here, so I think it's a good point, or changing point, to where it's like, okay, now we gotta switch it up. And I'm glad I got rid of that stock air filter.